Hello, my dear friends, and welcome to my channel. My name is Barbara, and today we're going to be looking at the 10th house. So super excited to be getting into the 10th house. It's all to do with the sign of Capricorn and with the planet Saturn. So really interesting that Saturn is here as a planet because Saturn is all to do with karma. It's known as the Lord of Karma. So wherever you have a lot of 10th house or Capricorn energy, you basically came through in this lifetime to clear through on a karmic level. Now, I find a lot of the time karma gets a negative connotation attached to it. You have people talking about karmic relationships, karmic dynamics, karmic situations, karmic jobs, karmic careers, whatever way, shape, or form you want to look at it. But things or situations that are karmic are actually in your life to basically help you evolve and help you grow. Okay, you get the highest level of soul growth in something that's karmic. Okay, as soon as you learn that lesson, you are like, wow, oh my gosh, how did I not see that before? It was heavily karmic. That's one way of looking at karma. Now, another way of looking at karma is it can be something that didn't get fulfilled in a past life. Okay, so when we come down to this earth plane, it's not really that simple. You know, when you come down here, because it's a more dense energy, okay, it's a dense plane. And when I say dense, it's energies that are lower vibrational. There are, more lower vibrational emotions. There's entities, all these sorts of things that can easily distract you, okay, from your purpose or from whatever your soul wants to achieve. Okay, so because of the fact that there is this on this earth plane, this is why a lot of souls don't get to complete things that they intended to complete, and why we keep coming back and why we get stuck on that reincarnation wheel or reincarnation cycle. So it can be karmic in the sense that there's something you didn't get to fulfill in a past life. In this lifetime, you feel like you have to do it. You feel like it's your responsibility in a way. You feel like it's a duty. You feel like you have to do it. Okay, so that could also be something that is karmic. So just something to keep in mind. Capricorn as a sign loves to climb. Okay, so they are depicted by the mountain goat. It's all about climbing for them within their lifetime. Okay, they're going to spend their lifetime climbing to higher heights to achieve something, to achieve some sort of goal. And again, it's in the earth plane. They are an earth sign, so they operate on the earth plane very well. They have something in mind. They have a goal that they want to achieve, and they're going to spend the earlier part of their life working towards that goal. And later on, they're going to spend their life reaping those rewards. Now, what's interesting is back in the day when the earth plane was more dense, okay, so lower vibrational emotions, all these sorts of things, it took longer for things to manifest, okay, because of the fact that it was lower vibrational. We're moving into higher and higher vibrations, so Capricorn as a sign could be reaping those rewards sooner than they were back in the day. Okay, so something to keep in mind. I'm seeing this in people's natal charts up until their Saturn return, their first Saturn return, 27, 28, 29, just because of the energies that we're living in. They're faster, they're more accelerated, they're higher vibrational than they were before. You're getting things faster, okay, but still Capricorn as an energy has to put the work in to reap the rewards. Okay, and a lot of the time now it tends to be after their first Saturn return. Back in the day, it took longer. Okay, so they would spend way more time in their earlier part of their life working towards something, and then later on in life they're going to achieve that. So they're going to be looking for money, they're going to be looking for power in a way. Okay, so that could be a shadow aspect of Capricorn, and they're going to be basically looking for status. Okay, so this is Capricorn as an energy. Also, what's interesting with them is that their earlier part of life, they tend to be more mature. Okay, so Capricorn as a sign tends to be more mature in the earlier part of their life, and in the later part of their life they go more into their inner child. This is because of the fact that Capricorn as an energy does tend to incarnate into family dynamics or situations or circumstances that the family was in that just force the Capricorn to mature sooner or faster at a younger age, and this basically throws them into the energy of creating stability for them. And for Capricorn, it's going to be stability through material things, wealth, all these sorts of things, because that's basically what we use on this earth plane. Okay, we use these things as a currency currently, at least. So Capricorn looks to achieve that, to create a stability for themselves, so later on in life they've created the stability, and then they are able to go more into their inner child. They're able to relax once they've achieved, okay, whatever goal that they were looking to achieve. Now, also what's interesting with the Capricorn energy is that they bounce off of a Cancer. Okay, they bounce off of Cancer as an energy. So Cancer is the 4th house, and then Capricorn is going to be the 10th house. And whenever we have an opposition like this, they do bounce off of each other energetically. So both Cancer and Capricorn as signs are going to be looking to achieve stability, but the way that they go about it is going to be in a different way. Cancer is the most abandoned sign of the zodiac, so they're going to be looking to achieve stability through creating a family dynamic of their own. Okay, they're going to spend a lot of their time looking for family, that family feel, because they didn't get it at the earlier part of their life. And then Capricorn as a sign is going to be looking to achieve that stability through material things, through wealth, through status, through career, whatever way you want to look at it, but basically a strong foundation for themselves. Okay, also what's interesting with Capricorn as an energy, or 10th house as an energy, I find it to be like a secondary energy to the rest of your chart. So it depends what you have in your chart. Okay, so let's say you have a lot of other earth placements. You're probably going to be someone who's going to be interested in either working corporate. You could be someone who's interested in working, I keep seeing dentist, okay, doctor, whatever, these like jobs, okay, that are very earthy, okay, in that sense. Okay, they're not abstract, they're very earthy. So if you have a lot of, let's say, Capricorn energy attached to that, okay, you're going to be someone who becomes well known, okay, again, later on in life in your career that you've chosen for yourself. Let's say you have a lot of third house or fifth house energy in your chart. You're going to be probably someone who's more creative. So you could be someone who's well known in the creative field. Okay, so this is what I mean by like a secondary or supplementary energy. Basically, depending on the rest of your chart, Capricorn adds to that. Okay, so Capricorn adds to that as an energy and basically elevates you in the sense of becoming very successful in whatever field you've chosen. So really depends on your chart. Let's say it's a lot of third house. It could be something to do with communication, speaking, writing. Okay, it really depends. Okay, really depends on the rest of your chart. Let's say it's first house and 10th house, probably going to be the first one to do something to do in the entrepreneurial world, and you'll be really successful because that Capricorn energy basically adds that success factor to you. Doesn't mean you won't be successful otherwise, but Capricorn elevates you in a way to also work with the public. That's another thing also. So the 10th house is also known to be like the house of working with the public in one way, shape, or form. So depending on the rest of your chart, when you add on this 10th house energy, you're still going to be working with the public. Okay, that's what I mean by karmic responsibility in a way, because let's say, you're working with the public, this could be looked at as a karmic duty or a karmic responsibility. Okay, so just something to keep in mind. So it depends on the rest of your chart, what other placements you have going on in there. But this is Capricorn as a sign and Capricorn as a house. Like the 10th house really is this. It's kind of like an additional energy to whatever else is going on in your chart, because Capricorn is really going to work hard. They're really going to work hard to achieve this status. Okay, and this is what I mean. They almost have this karmic responsibility within them to work with the public in one way, shape, or form. Okay, so again, depends on the rest of your chart to see, where the certain planets are and how long you're going to be working with the public and at what point and all these sorts of things. But this is really the 10th house. It's a karmic responsibility on a higher self level. The soul agreed to incarnate to work with the public, but again, it's probably going to be in the latter part of your life. Okay, because of the fact that the earlier part is spent working hard. Okay, to become a master at something, because in order for you to then become a teacher or work with other people, you have had to have mastered something, okay, in your life earlier on. So just something to think about. But yeah, it's happening faster now, okay? So because of the fact that the energies are higher, they're higher vibrational, they're more accelerated, things are happening faster compared to before when they were denser. So back in the day, like I was mentioning, Capricorn as a sign would have to work way longer to achieve that higher height. Now it could happen way sooner for you, okay? So if you're tuning in and you have a lot of this 10th house Capricorn energy in your chart, but Capricorn as a sign really sees their goal, okay? A lot of the time I do find that they get like the reputation of being workaholics and they only focus on their work and their career, but this is really what they've incarnated here to do. Like Capricorn as a sign is going to, again, depends where you have it in your chart, but this Capricorn 10th house energy is basically going to be interested in creating a family after they've created some sort of foundation for themselves, okay? So let's say you're someone who has Venus in the 10th house, or you have Venus in Capricorn. Okay, so in terms of relationships, you're probably not going to be interested in anything serious until you've created a foundation for yourself. This is the main thing to understand with the Capricorn energy. It's not just career, it's just about creating a foundation for yourself. If you feel secure in your foundation earlier on in life, then you're going to be like, okay, well, now I'm ready to either start a family or, get into a relationship or whatever way it looks like for you, right? But Capricorn needs to create that foundation, okay? Psychically, I'm literally seeing, when you're creating a building, how you have to dig in deep to have a strong foundation. So this is the Capricorn 10th house energy. They need to have a strong foundation. They need to have a strong sense of self, know what they're doing, know what their career is, have like a consistent income coming in, whatever way, shape, or form you want to look at it. But this is really the Capricorn energy. They have to have that first, and then everything else is going to become a priority for them. Okay, so this is the Capricorn energy. I mean, later on in life, let's say they have created the career for themselves and they've gotten to the place that they've gotten to, and maybe they do have a family. So a shadow aspect of Capricorn could be that they're too focused on their career. So that's where like the workaholic energy or stereotype, I guess you can say, comes in for Capricorn, is because they can be a little bit like their career is going to be their life in a way, shape, or form. It's in a way, it's what they create their identity around. And all of the signs have a different way of doing this. So this is just Capricorn's energy. So again, if you have a lot of this Capricorn energy in your chart, to just be mindful of that, to not allow just your work to be your main focus or get in the way for you. But the main thing for Capricorn, like I said, is to create that solid foundation, okay? As a sign, they don't take BS, you know, they're gonna tell it like it is, okay? They are really, I don't want to say hard-headed because they're not a fixed sign and they're not stubborn, but they're strongest people. I find people who have a lot of Capricorn or 10th house energy, you know, they've been through a lot as a sign, and they just don't take BS. They're very real, okay, as people. They're very authentic. They know who they are. They have a strong backbone. It's interesting because Cancer is more feminine in the energy, but I find Capricorn in that sense to be more masculine because, you know, they just they don't bother, okay? They don't bother with drama. They don't bother with gossip, anything of that sort. Like Capricorn has a goal in mind, and that's all that really matters to them. Ultimately, at the end of the day, they want to get to whatever it is that they're trying to achieve. And, you know, they're also not cutthroat. I don't find them to be cutthroat in that sense. I find that to be more Aries energy or first house energy. Capricorn is more like, you know, I'm just going on my way. Like, I'm just focused on whatever it is I'm focused on. And, you know, they're not going to entertain anything. They're not going to entertain really anything outside of that. Again, if you're interested, or maybe you have someone who, or you're someone who has Venus in the 10th or Capricorn energy in that Venus area, you know, in terms of your love life, like you're not going to take BS. You're going to look for a partner who's also stable. Okay. So you're also going to look for someone who's stable, in that sense, okay? In terms of, again, the material world, you could even look for someone to build with, okay? So that's another thing. But a lot of the time, again, the karmic energy around Capricorn as a sign is to create that strong foundation for themselves before they do anything else. So probably in a past life, they didn't get the chance to do this, okay? So this is something to keep in mind. So let's say if you have moon in Capricorn, this could be, you know, a huge area that's affected by this, because it's interesting because the moon has to do with the mother. And a lot of the time, let's say you have moon in Capricorn, you could have been, you know, on a soul level. So on a soul level, this is what tends to happen. On a soul level, the moon, whatever your moon sign is basically what the soul incarnates to look for in a mother, okay? This is not the only thing about the moon, but it's one of the things about the moon, and it also has to deal with your past life, okay? It also has to do with your past life. So, you know, on a higher self level, with the moon in Capricorn, you probably incarnated looking for a mother who was stable, or a mother who was going to be like secure there for you, maybe financially stable, or create a stable foundation. And what tends to happen is the soul gets the exact opposite of that, okay? Because that's where the most amount of growth is, okay? So this is a huge thing to understand, because the whole reason we come to the earth plane, and in general the earth school, it's a school, is to grow and is to evolve as souls, you know. And a lot of the time we do get lost, okay, when we come here. This is why people keep coming back, okay? This is why people are stuck on the incarnation cycle, the reincarnation cycle. But this is what happens. So the soul comes through looking for a mother who is those things, and a lot of the time gets the exact opposite. And this is probably one of the reasons why when they're younger, they actually do mature faster, okay? They mature faster because there is the absence of that energy for them, and then they go off looking to create that stability for themselves. So really interesting to look at this. Really interesting to look at this. Again, it depends where you have the 10th house or Capricorn energy in your chart, but overall, the energy of Capricorn is creating a solid foundation for themselves, okay? Learning to stand on their own 2 feet so they can build, okay? This is the thing. They're all about building. They're all about long term, okay? Capricorn is always going to be looking towards the long term. How could they achieve things in the long term? What is it that they want? And they set out a plan for themselves, and they focus on the plan. That's it. It's really the Capricorn energy. You know, as an earth sign, they're not really about BS. They're not going to let anyone distract them. They're not like water signs where they get like swayed by emotions or emotional situations or anything of that sort. Like Capricorn is really, again, about their path. They're doing their thing, and they're just doing their thing. Okay, this is really what it is. You know, they're not going to take BS, like I mentioned, all these sorts of things. Even if they're in any sort of circumstance where they, you know, are trying to achieve something, and maybe like they're in a job or something and there's drama starting to break out with the other colleagues or whatever it is. First of all, they're not going to be involved, but if it gets too toxic, they're going to leave, okay? So they're always going to look for stability, okay, in career. They're not going to get involved in other people and other dramas and all these sorts of things. They want to achieve this, and like I mentioned, on a higher self level, they do climb, okay? They keep climbing because there is almost like this karmic responsibility to work with the public in one way, shape, or form. So like I mentioned, you know, you could be a dentist with a lot of 10th house energy in your chart, and then you could be someone who is a well-known dentist, okay? Or you could have been someone who like really excelled, or maybe you opened up a franchise. Let's say you have a lot of first house energy in there. You open up a franchise, and now you have, you know, like the most well-known franchise, you know, several of them in your area, or whatever it is, right? Let's say you're a dentist. Let's say you're a creative person. Let's say you're someone who's an actor, okay? Maybe you have a lot of 5th house energy in there, and then you have a lot of 10th house. Again, you're working with the public. This is the energy with the 10th house. It always puts you in a dynamic where you're working with the public in one way, shape, or form. You know, working with the public, it isn't always like in the sense of just being famous and working on the highest level. Working in the public is like being in the customer service industry. You're working with the public, okay, you're interacting with people, but it is going to put you in an energy of being well known. So you could be well known in your profession, you could be well known in your town, and then again, depending where you have the 10th house, it could be on either a national or an international scale. It really depends on the rest of the person's chart. A lot of the time we can see this in charts, like people who are going to have long-term fame or being well known, and you know, how long it's going to take, or over how much period of time, and what area it's going to be in. So it's really interesting to see astrology, how it works in this situation. But this is really what it is. Overall, Capricorn as a sign climbs. They're all about climbing because they have a karmic responsibility or karmic duty to work with the public in one way, shape, or form, depending on the rest of the planets, depending on the rest of the houses, depending on the rest of the signs. This is really the 10th house energy. Okay, they want to create that stability for themselves and get that status and get that money and get that wealth. Okay, because that really gives them a sense of security. And like I said, in a way, it's because they didn't get to complete this in a past life. So my dear friends, I'm going to wrap up the video there. I do hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the day.